After an exhilarating day of paragliding in Billing, it was time to soak in the cultural heritage of the region of Dharamsala and beyond. Palpung Sherabling Monastery lies about 60 kilometers from Dharamsala. The original monastery in Tibet is the historical seat of the successive incarnations of the Thai Stupa, one of the oldest lineages of reincarnated lamas or tulkus in the Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. The seat in exile outside of Tibet is the Sherabling Monastery in Himachal Pradesh, India. What you see behind me and all around is the Palpung Sherabling Monastery. Now this was built in the Bir region in Himachal Pradesh in 1975 and is home to more than 500 monks, some of which are men and some of which are nuns. What you see behind me is the main building of the monastery. To the right are the gardens and some of the shrines, and to the left and all around are the various facilities that are made available for the monks of this monastery. Let's take a look around and have a look at this wonderful campus. The building was designed by Kenting Thai Stupa and is built of modern materials and finished in traditional Tibetan architectural fashion. The concept of the design follows the ancient science of geomancy. Palpung Sherabling cultivates and preserves the artistic lineage of the Palpung tradition. The monastery, only a few miles from the nearest town, retains its calmness and isolation. The 12th Kenting Thai Stupa is progressively developing Palpung Sherabling according to his ideal, from an ordinary point of view to build a seat for a great master, from a more profound level to establish a place to display and maintain the culture and lineage of Tibetan Buddhism, and a place to educate the masters of the next generation. From a community devoted to religious practice to a community dedicated to the preservation of Tibetan arts and culture. The Norbulinka Institute that you see behind me is the heart and soul of Tibetan culture right here in India, in Himachal Pradesh, next to Dharamsala. Now the aim of the institute is one, to preserve and maintain Tibetan art and culture from generation to generation, so that it does not get lost through the centuries. The institute itself has a very unique and interesting shape, with the buildings in the form of a lotus right at the base. People from across the world come here year on year to enrich themselves with knowledge of Tibetan art and culture. Norbulingka is a community with a sustainable business model and a strong social mission, keeping Tibetan culture alive by training people for the future. All proceeds from all business sections go directly back into running the institute.
It is Norbu, anything precious, Linga, like garden or park. So the name we just copied from Tibet. Norbulinka in Tibet used to be summer palace for the Dalai Lamas, but over here we just created Art and Craft Institute. So the main aim over here is like to preserve Tibetan art and craft, because since 1959, so we lost our country under China. So since then, back in Tibet, we are losing each and everything. So in need of preservation, so we this place, and this whole place, we started in 1988, and our exiled government ex-Prime Minister Mr. Kaosan Yishi is the founder. So right now, I'm standing inside at the main temple hall. So the back side, like you can see, we have a Buddha statue, which is like 14 feet high, all occupied in our workshop itself, which is considered to be one of its largest kind outside of Tibet. And towards the right side, we have our largest Thanga applique work, which is like 1 year's work for a whole team of 25 members.
Around the temple are workshops of artisans and apprentices that produce various art objects, which are sold at the Norbulinka shop for the benefit of Tibetan refugees. Scattered with several cottages and a variety of displays of Tibetan arts, one of my favorite in the institute was the Lhasa Doll Museum, which has diorama displays of traditional Tibetan scenes, using miniature Tibetan dolls in traditional costumes. From finding the Dalai Lama himself in McLeodganj to adventure sports in Billing, to now understanding the culture behind Palpung Monastery and Norbulinka, visiting the region of Dharamsala and its surroundings has been nothing short of unforgettable.